Hello everyone and welcome back again. Today we're gonna talk about the stress rules for numbers. In this lesson, we'll know how to stress numbers in English pronunciation. First of all, let's start with how to stress teen numbers. Question number 1. What's the meaning of teen numbers? Teen numbers are numbers that end with teen syllable at the end of it. Like, for example, 13, 14, and so on. Rule number 1. How to stress teen numbers like 13, 14, and so on. When counting or referring to the teen numbers, stress the second syllable teen. Make it longer, louder, and high in pitch. Look at example number 1. 13. In this example, you have to stress the second syllable, which is teen. You have to make it longer and louder. 13, 13. Look at example number 2. 14. You have to stress teen. 14, 14. So in 14, you have to stretch teen syllable. You have to stretch teen, make it longer and louder. 14. The same thing happened to 15. You have to stretch teen. Put the stress on teen. 15. The same thing to 16. 16. The same thing to 17. 17. Put the stress on teen. The same thing to 18. 18. The same thing to the last number 19. 19. So you have to put the stress on the second syllable, which is teen, and make this syllable longer and louder. So let's move to another part, and we will know how to stress numbers above 20. By the way, you can pronounce it 20 or 20. It's up to you. When counting, stress the second number for numbers above 20. So when you want to stress any number above 20, you have to put the stress on the second number or on the second syllable. For example, look at example number 1. 21. So you have to stress 1, make it longer and louder. 21. 22. You have to stress 2. 22. 23. So you have to put the stress on 3 and make it longer and louder. 23. 24. So you have to put the stress on 4 and stretch it, make it longer and louder. 24. 25. Stretch 5. Put the stress on 5. 26. 26. 27. 27. You have to put the stress on 7 and on 6. 28. 28. You have to put the stress on 8. 29. 29. You have to put the stress on 9. Now let's move on to another part. How to stress 10 numbers. When counting or referring to the 10 numbers, stress the first syllable. What's the meaning of 10 numbers? They are numbers that end with ty at the end of it. Like, for example, 20 or 20. You can pronounce it 20 or 20. Like 30, or you can pronounce it 30. You can change it into flap T, 30. Like 40 or 40. Like 50 or 50. You can change the T into D, like 60 or 60, and so on. 70 or 70, 80 or 80, 90 or 90. So you have to put the stress on the first syllable to stress 10 numbers. For example, 20. You have to put the stress on the first syllable, which is 20. 20. 30. I will pronounce it as flap T, which is 30. I'll change T into D. 30. So you have to stress the first syllable, which is 30. The same thing to 40. You have to stress FOR syllable. Put the stress on it. 40. The same thing to 50. 50. You have to put the stress on FIF. The same thing to 60. 60. The same thing to 70. 70. You have to put the stress on 7. The same thing will happen to 80. 80. You have to put the stress on the first syllable, which is A. 80. The same thing will happen to 90. 90. You have to put the stress on the first syllable, which is 9. 90. 90. So we have to put the stress on the first syllable, not on the second syllable. So let's move on to another part. When you want to talk about time, you have to stress the second syllable. When stating numbers as in time, money, or amounts, stress the last part of the T numbers. In short, if you want to tell time, you have to stress the second syllable, like 8:15. Look at example number 1, 8:15. So you have to put the stress on 15. 8:15. Make 15 longer and louder. Look at the second example, 2:14. 2:14. So you have to put the stress on 14. Make it longer and louder. The same thing will happen to the last example, which is 7:13. 7:13. So you have to put the stress on 13. Make it longer and louder. 7:13, and so on. Be aware of something. When numbers become adjectives, we put the primary stress on nouns and we don't put the stress on numbers. Look at example number 1. 13 pounds. By the way, we pronounce it pounds. We omit the D. The D is silent. We don't say pounds. Again, 13 pounds. You have to put the stress on pounds, not 13. Why? Because 13 here is an adjective. So in this case, you have to put the stress on the noun, which is pounds. So you have to stress pounds. 13 pounds. Make it longer and louder. The same thing to 14 minutes. You have to put the stress on minutes. 14 minutes. The same thing to 15 miles. 15 miles. You have to put the stress on miles. 15 miles. So you have to put the stress on pounds. 13 pounds. You have to put the stress in minutes. 40 minutes. You have to put the stress on miles, 50 miles. Look at the next example, $15. $15. You have to put the stress on dollars. 16 cents. 16 cents. You have to put the stress on cents. 17 euros. 17 euros. You have to put the stress on euros. So you have to put the stress on the second syllable. When you want to tell time, you have to put the stress on the second syllable. Look at example number 1. 9:30. We put the stress on 30. We stress the first part of the 10 numbers in this example. It's 9:30. We put the stress on 30. But look at example number 2. It's 9:13. We put the stress on teen. So we stress the last part of the teen numbers. It's 9:13. We put the stress on teen. So how to stress numbers? You have to put the stress on the last syllable. For example, look at example number 1. 1997. 1997. You have to put the stress on 7. Look at example number 2. It's 11:45. It's 11:45. You have to put the stress on 45. Look at example number 3. It's 911. 911. You have to put the stress on the last syllable, which is 1. 911. Look at the next example. It's 5:15. It's 5:15. You have to put the stress on teen. It's 5:15, and so on. Now I'll tell you how to say the phone number in a good way. First of all, you have to divide the phone number into 4 parts. The first part, we put the stress on the third syllable, which is 3. The second part, we put the stress on the third syllable, which is 7. The third part, we put the stress on the second syllable, which is 3. The fourth part, we put the stress on the second syllable, which is 5. So again, the first part, we put the stress on 3. The second part, we put the stress on 7. The third part, we put the stress on 3. The fourth part, we put the stress on 5. So it will be 703, 417, 13, 15. So we put the stress on 3, after that 7, after that 3, after that 5. 703, 417, 13, 15. Now I'll give you another example. I'll divide this number into 4 parts. The first part, we will put the stress on the third syllable, which is 2. The second part, we will put the stress on the third syllable, which is 6. The third part, we will put the stress on the second syllable, which is 3. The fourth part, we will put the stress on the second syllable, which is 1. So it will be 212, 506, 4321. So we put the stress on 2, after that 6, after that 3, after that 1. It will be again 212, 506, 4321. طبعا الدرس بتاع النهارده بيتكلم عن ازاي نحط الاسترس على الارقام. قلنا عندنا نوعين من الارقام اللي بتنتهي ب تي اي اي ان اللي هو المقطع تين، والارقام اللي بتنتهي ب تي واي اللي هو المقطع تي واي. طيب في الارقام اللي بتنتهي بالسيلابل او المقطع تي اي اي ان بنعمل ستريس ازاي؟ قال لك بنحط الستريس على التين دي نفسها اهي 13. يبقى المقطع تين ده بنطوله شويه بنمده 13 اهي 14 ها 15. طب الارقام اللي بتنتهي بالمقطع تي واي بنحط الستريس فين؟ قال لك على المقطع الاول اهي زي كلمه مثلا ايه 30 اهي 40. يبقى نحط الستريس على المقطع الاولاني اهي 50. ونخلي بالنا ممكن ننطقها 30 او ممكن نقلبها دي تبقى 30. طبعا هنا خدنا ازاي نعمل ستريس لاي رقم فوق ال 20 زي 21 22 23. اي رقم فوق 20 بنحط الستريس على المقطع التاني. عندك مثلا 21 يبقى الستريس على 1 بنمدها 22 يبقى الستريس على 2 بنمدها 22. طيب 23 يبقى الستريس على 3. يبقى اي كلمه بتيجي بعد 20 بنعمل ستريس عليها 24 يبقى الستريس على 4. 25 يبقى الستريس على 5. في الجزء ده خدنا ازاي بنقول الساعة. طبعا اي ساعة تجيلك المقطع التاني هو اللي عليه الستريس. زي اول واحد مثلا 8:15 نعمل ستريس على تين 8:15. 2:14 طبعا ستريس على تين. 7:13 يبقى الستريس على تيم. الجزء اللي بعديه قلنا لو الارقام هنا جت كصفات او الرقم جه بعديه اسم، هنا الرقم بيبقى صفة فبنحط الستريس على الاسم مش الرقم. هنقول مثلا 13 pounds يبقى pounds هي اللي عليها الستريس فنمدها اهي 13 pounds. نفس الكلام 14 minutes طبعا هنا هي اللي عليها الستريس تبقى 14 minutes تبقى هنمدها شوية. نفس الكلام 15 miles يبقى نعمل ستريس على miles. طبعا نعمل ستريس على miles تبقى 15 miles. هنا خدنا طبعا ازاي نقول مثلا اي سنة تجيلنا هنعمل ستريس على المقطع الاخير زي 1997 يبقى 7 على الستريس. الساعة طبعا الستريس هتبقى على المقطع التاني تبقى 11:45. الساعة تبقى الستريس على المقطع التاني تبقى 11:45. الرقم مثلا 911 يبقى 1 الأخيرة دي المقطع الأخير هو عليه الستريس. نفس الكلام في الساعة 5:15 الستريس على تين. في الجزء ده عرفنا ازاي نقول رقم تليفون بطريقة صحيحة. بنقسم رقم التليفون 4 أجزاء. الجزء الأول بنحط الستريس على المقطع الثالث اللي هو 3. الجزء الثاني بنحط الستريس على المقطع الثالث اللي هو 7. الجزء الثالث بنحط الستريس على المقطع الثاني اللي هو 3. الجزء الرابع بنحط الستريس على المقطع الثاني اللي هو 5. يبقى هنقولها كلها على بعضيها هتبقى 703 الستريس على 3. 417 الستريس على 7. 13 15 again تاني 703 417 13 15.